Welcome to our paper, A Unified 3D Human Motion Synthesis Model via Conditional Variational Auto-Encoder. In this work, we present a unified and flexible framework to address the generalized problem of 3D motion synthesis that covers the tasks of motion prediction, completion, interpolation, and spatial temporal recovery. As we can see, since different motion synthesis tasks have different goals and expectations, many approaches are either restricted to one type of motion synthesis task or use different methods to address these different tasks. To address motion synthesis, especially for motion prediction, many work choose to adopt a recurrent neural network architecture to predict future frames sequentially, with new ones dependent only on previous generated frames. Although performing well in motion prediction, these approaches are not directly suited for generalizing into other tasks, such as motion completion, interpolation, for which both forward and backward dependencies should be exploited. Another question is about the uncertainty of motion synthesis. To provide plausible generation results, many methods are focused on minimizing the reconstruction error between the ground truth and generated motion sequences, while less considering motion diversity, which are also significant for realistic generation. For instance, as we can see in the bottom figure, given the same initial pose, one can perform in different ways in the future based on their intention. The diversity may be larger when generating long sequences. To summarize, in this paper, we mainly focus on two problems for motion synthesis. Many models only work for one scenario, like prediction, which impels us to find a unified architecture for various 3D motion synthesis tasks, where we can generate realistic and meaningful results under different circumstances. Furthermore, in precise motion animation, it is highly desirable for a user to be able to influence the type of action in the generated series, while few existing solutions are able to precisely manipulate the semantic information of motion series and generalize well to different synthesis tasks. To deal with various input conditions within a single model, we uniformly treat any arbitrary input as a masked motion series. The visible parts are considered as the input condition or constraint, while the masked regions are the places targeted for automatic generation. Our target is to fill in the masked regions with plausible results. Here is a schematic overview of our proposed network. During training, two complementary parts named the visible partial regions Xi and the ground truth of the unknown missing part Xu are simultaneously fed into the respective encoders to estimate the distribution of missing regions over a latent space. The distributions are then used to sample the unseen embeddings to generate and reconstruct the whole sequences. To further precisely manipulate semantic guidance for the synthesized process, we introduce the action adaptive modulation, which is called AAM, in the decoding stage, followed by an action classifier to propagate the semantic information across the whole sequence. During testing, the input keyframes only go through the upper branch of the network without using the discriminator and classifier. The synthesized pulses are combined with the input keyframes at the output of the network. To control the semantic meanings of the generated motions, an action adaptive modulation AAM is applied to the normalization layers in the decoding stage. Particularly, we first encode the predefined action label by adding a positional embedding to each frame. The element-wise summed results are then convolved to produce the per-frame modulation parameters gamma and beta as the learned scale and bias of the normalization. We also show qualitative videos of our method. Here the black and gray denotes the input conditions and the red and blue denote the synthesized results. This is for prediction. This is for completion. This is for spatial temporal recovery. We also show diverse actions generated from the same initial pose. By setting different semantic guidance, our model generates a variety of semantically meaningful results given the same input frame. This is a presentation of our paper. Thanks for your watching.